under my name to the Minister of Education, Heritage and Arts and Local Government. Can the Minister inform Parliament on how rural and maritime teachers will benefit from the revised 2021-2022 budget? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I now call on the Minister for Education, Heritage and Arts and Local Government, the Honourable Premila Kumar. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I also thank the Honourable Member for his question. Mr. Speaker, sir, while government provides free education grant, transport assistance, and free textbooks, it is also our responsibility to ensure that students in remote, rural, and maritime schools are not disadvantaged in terms of accessing qualified teachers for quality education. Mr. Speaker, sir, we see it necessary to support school management in their efforts to provide teachers with quotas. This in turn ensures that teachers are comfortable and are able to provide better support to our students. School quotas, and now with the reinstatement of rural allowance, both these two things being put in place will assist ministry to attract teachers to serve in the rural and maritime areas. Government is doing what it can to provide support to our teachers to go to these remote and maritime areas to teach our students by assisting with their accommodation. Our teachers are our assets, and we want to do whatever we can to make their lives comfortable in the job. In the revised 2021-2022 budget, the Ministry of Education received a funding of 1.3 million for the building and maintenance of teachers' quarters in 10 schools. These include schools in the Ra, Batavua, Lotoka Nendi, Yasawa, Nandronga Navosa, Maduata Bua, Lomaiviti, Koro, Lau, Kandavu, and Nosori districts. It includes the renovation and construction of approximately 40 teachers' quarters. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the last 7 years, the ministry has spent around 4.4 million to upgrade teachers' quarters for 187 schools around the country through its building grant allocation. After TC Winston, schools that were rebuilt included teachers' quarters, and some of these quarters that were rebuilt, now it is built mostly as duplexes and triplexes, just to increase the number of teachers' quarters in the rural areas. For example, at St. Therese, we have built teachers' quarters which are duplexes. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Australian government has provided around 12.5 million Australian dollars to rehabilitate 9 schools in the north that were damaged by TC Yasa. In this program, they will also refurbish and rebuild teachers' quarters in these schools. Mr. Speaker, sir, while teachers' quarters belong to the communities and the responsibility to maintain quarters is with them, the ministry has been encouraging school management committee to rent quarters to teachers and use the rent to maintain the quarters. And wherever possible, the ministry is also rebuilding and renovating these quarters. Mr. Speaker, sir, the teachers in the rural areas, particularly in maritime area, they are quite excited about the new revised budget with the reinstatement of rural allowance. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, sir, the provision of proper housing quarters and the reinstatement of rural allowance in the revised budget will greatly benefit our teachers in the maritime areas. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. I give the floor to the Honourable William Ngavoka. You have the floor, sir.
Honourable Speaker, I'm intrigued by the words of the Honourable Minister saying reinstatement. Apparently, these allowances were paid way back in the time of Ratumara. Did you stop it? Why did you stop it? Now you'll bring it back. Why did you stop it?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the Honourable Member was also in the Parliament when Attorney General presented the revised budget, and because of COVID, this rural allowance was held back.
Thank you. Honourable Guerra, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
commend the ministry for the work that is done, especially in the renovation of quarters. But as far as the allowance are concerned, when will this be implemented? Thank you.
When will the allowance be?
Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
The announcement was already made by the Attorney General, and we all sit in the Parliament. The problem is we're not listening carefully. The allowance comes into place from 1st of April. Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on. We'll move on to the third oral question for today.